And we're live recorded. It is Monday night, August 21, 12:41 a.m. It's actually Tuesday.
Depending on
According
how
to
you
my
look
clock.
at it.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
Today, what's the name of the show?
Oh, sorry. Welcome to Republic Today, republictodaydotnet.
What are our names?
We've got Skull here.
Hi.
And I'm Jay. Hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Welcome to the Republic Today. Right now.
Yeah.
Democracy
Today,
Now.
right now. Rings a little bell, I think.
So there's a show called Democracy Now. And that was part of the inspiration for the original show Republic Today. Yeah, cheers. Hey. We're toasting. On air. Live. Recording. Drinks.
Little bit of booch.
So there I had discovered Democracy Now, the show Democracy Now, which is available in a podcast, I'm sure. At the time I was like, oh my gosh, this is so lefty.
Right.
You know, looking back and at more recent episodes, I mean, there's definitely problems and issues that I have with it, but that was kind of the inspiration, part of the inspiration for the name Republic Today.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy Now, Republic Today.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Okay.
Get it?
Damn, y'all are getting an origin story today. Republic Today, republictoday.net.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that was, I guess you didn't know that either, huh?
I did not know that, and somehow I've been part of the project.
So
We're not delivering like hard-hitting like news and perspectives in that way that requires some research or journalism. Would you call it journalism?
Not right now. No, we're not doing that.
Oh, not for us. I mean like Democracy Now.
I mean, I think the direction that this project is going to be some hard-hitting perspectives, hot takes, lukewarm takes. But probably not a lot of like reporting.
Ice water cold.
We're not. We've never talked about breaking news on this program.
Program, huh?
Program.
Like a pilgrim.
Like a program.
Pilgrim.
That's what, you know. My grandmother, she would watch her stories in the afternoon.
Right, the soaps.
You know, oh, it's time to watch my stories.
The soap operas.
Gosh. My grandmother was like 4'7".
Even tinier.
Oh yeah, so she was smaller than my mom, and you've met my mom. What, 4'8"?
So little.
4'9", yeah.
I mean, my meme was pretty short too. In her old age, they just get shorter.
We do.
We all do.
Oh, I've probably lost like an inch already.
Already?
I'm old as fuck. Look at my beard.
Skull is not old as fuck.
I was talking to my coworkers, and the other night, there's been a couple evenings recently where Jay didn't come to my job. So for y'all who don't know, Jay comes to my job most nights. It was 3 different jobs that they would come to. Now it's 2. And so I was hanging out just briefly after work one night, and there's a brand new coworker named Dylan with a Y.
Oh, I didn't get that detail.
And I didn't connect with, I believe she goes by she, her pronouns.
Yeah.
And I mean, we chatted briefly, said hi, that kind of thing, NBD. And the other people working were like 10 years older than her because they were in their late 20s.
Right.
And so I'm like this like old ass man. But I did make the joke. We were trading some social media information, and there's a picture from Jay's graduation here that says, you know, cute picture or secret daughter. And it's kind of funny. It is funny because in that picture, you can't tell that Jay is 30, not 20.
And I guess in that picture, you can't tell that Jay is non-binary.
Oh, yes, I did say daughter.
You did.
Okay, okay. Fair enough. I appreciate you correcting me on that. Because I don't want to, like, misgender you.
But other people do all the time. What's the difference?
I mean, I do from time to time, but I don't mean to, and I'm getting better about it, and I intend to even get better than that. Um, it's new for most people. Non-binary status identity.
Okay.
It's something like I not only respect but am attracted to about you. I think it's cool. I think it's like that you are confident in that. Like that was something that from when we very first met. I don't know if the first time we met did we talk about that, or was it the next day our first date?
It was on the first date.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
but
because on the first day that we met, we talked about my name mostly
yeah, we had a brief conversation.
and something about gaming, and then I was
Traded-
like, "All right, I'm
traded
gonna leave it at
information.
that."
But Jay actually said, "Hey, can I give you my number?" And
Go getter.
I was like, "Heck, excuse me, heck yes, heck yes,
Ew.
heck yes,
Okay, thank you.
heck yes." High five.
I don't know.
High
That could be
five.
questionable too.
It's all context. I had some red flag customers tonight, like red flag. I didn't even tell Jay this yet, so this is fresh.
This is pretty fresh.
So I like to set up like a little barrier from the edge of the bar to where I have the seating start. And these people, while I was just like in the back, decided to move my decoration, my giant pottery leaf decoration.
Mm-hmm.
That only Jay knows what I'm referring to, not the listeners and not the viewers. But which, if you go to a bar and there's like a very clear
Decor.
barrier, like don't start moving stuff around.
Right.
Don't like any of y'all, seriously, this is like a real public service announcement. Don't start moving stuff around at a bar where you're a guest. Like just go find a seat that's not taken, that doesn't have like. So anyway, that it was like there was like
unless it's something like you're sitting at a large table or you have a large party, like check in with like the server or the bartender or whatever before you move furniture to make like a big table.
right.
But like that would be more acceptable than moving like furniture that's not used.
This is
And
decor
more,
even that
more
we're talking about.
decorative.
So from the
So there's a
corner,
difference.
there's like a pass through in a corner of the bar, and some
It's
of
an
you.
L-shaped bar. One end is closed off to employees only. The other side is open and kind of in the area of like where people can sit too. So there's like a big table right next to it, and then people sit along the L-shaped bar. But Skull here doesn't want people coming up to the area where the register is right off of the edge of the L that goes to the other seating.
Like the pass through.
The pass.
So the POS is right at the pass through, which is normal. But when people sit right there, they want VIP service. And I'll tell you what, listeners, it's always conservative leaning men that have to dominate that area. Always. I'm not saying other people don't come up to that edge where the register is. They do. But it's only a certain type of fucking asshole that has to sit there.
And that's who's moving the decor.
These guys talked about hunting for hours. Hunting animals. They're commissioned salespeople, and were talking about the various co-workers who they thought were hot, or they were using slurs such as the D word loudly to talk about their clients and their co-workers. These guys sat there for 5 hours. They got one drink each.
Yikes.
It was, I mean, I didn't let it become a nightmare. I just fucking rolled with it. It was a smooth night. It was a solid night. It didn't ruin my night, but boy, I turned the corner and I saw this guy moving my decorations that's specifically a barrier so people don't sit there and get comfortable. And of course, dear listeners, that's the other thing about this type of individual. Well, where's the other bartender? Well, where's the lady who's usually here? And I have a standard response to anyone when these guys got it hard. Well, she doesn't work all 7 days.
Uh-huh.
I don't make eye contact. I just say it like that. And they're like, where I work, there's a bartender who works 5 nights a week, and then I work the other 2. That's the 7 nights. And sometimes people can't wrap their head around, well, there's someone who's usually here, but they're not here now. What's going on with that?
Right. So.
And so the guy literally said, and oh yeah, she's tall, brunette. She's she's got a kid who's going to college somewhere in Arizona. I corrected him, UNLV. And what does the guy say? She's a card.
What does that mean?
I didn't respond and I didn't ask.
What does that mean?
I walked away. I was like, she's a card. Okay, you freaking weirdos.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I mean, this guy had
Like
some
a
red
wild
flag
card?
tats. I mean, these were like Proud Boy motherfuckers. I mean, it was gross. And they were loud. Like, I was surprised my sales were as high as they were because it felt so quiet except for these 2 loud right-wingers. Probably a little bit younger than me. Probably a little bit older than you. Something like that. Yeah, I've loved commission salespeople. I'm not but boy, is that a red flag. It's like if that's what you do, we need to talk about your relationship with facts, honesty, truth, community versus capitalism. I do think it's one of the 2 fields that shouldn't unionize, as our regular listeners and viewers know. Commission people and tipped people, I don't think should unionize, but everybody else should be required to be in a union. No choice.
Whoa.
I don't know. All these pro-choice people can go to hell. Dobbs! No, I'm just kidding, y'all. I had spent the vast majority of my life being Roman Catholic. Jay here just a little bit, just as a baby.
Again.
Your side part looks funny.
I know it does. What if I did it the other way?
So, I guess I'm sympathetic to some anti-abortion arguments.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to for me, as just someone who is a true believer in anarchy, is that you shouldn't be trying to use the law to get rid of abortions. You shouldn't be doing it through the courts or through law enforcement or through the so-called justice system. If you really believe that abortion is murder, is killing people,
Stop killing people in other ways.
one, yes, of course, yes, for sure.
Okay, great.
And also work within your own community to
Right.
prevent abortions, to prevent unwanted pregnancies,
Yes.
chaperone young people so
Educate.
they're not having premarital sex, or
Educate.
educate them.
Have open communication.
Whether
Talk
it's
about
birth
gender,
control
talk
or
about
abstinence.
sexuality.
yeah, birth control, abstinence,
Be completely comprehensive.
yeah,
Talk about different body parts. Talk
or
about people who are intersex. Talk about people who have like quote unquote abnormalities with their like whatever physical biology.
if a
Like
potentially unwanted pregnancy comes around within your own community, you're saying, I don't want this woman to get an abortion, it's murder. Well, then make sure that that family, at least that two-person family, the child and the parent, are set up financially for the
or
next 20
somebody else
years.
takes in.
Well, or so that they're set up, so that like that
Well,
person has a
somebody might not
career.
want to be a parent.
That person doesn't have to give up their career. Well, that's what I'm just saying, that there's all of these other little
Yeah.
nuances that would prevent abortions that people who are doing it through the legal system just ignore.
No, I know.
They just act like they don't exist. Like,
But then
okay,
like
someone's getting an abortion because they're poor. They don't have a job. They don't feel like they can afford to raise a kid. They don't feel like they can start, embark upon, or continue a career if they have a kid. So, what are we doing to make that person feel as though they can have their career, that they can afford to raise a kid, that they can live a comfortable, flourishing life, and give birth to this child? See, these people they're pro-birth, but they're not pro-life. They don't, once that child is born, they complain that they're on welfare. They complain
right,
about public education. They won't let us have universal health care or a public option. You've got to do private health insurance.
right.
They don't, we can't have, the private sector can't be responsible for job training. The government funded academy has to do job training. And if they teach something that you don't like, then we're going to take those teacher salaries. We're going to have class sizes double the size that they were 20 years ago. They're not pro-life, they're pro-birth. They don't care if those people have a life. In fact, they don't care if they die in the streets. Good. What do they say? What do the same right-wingers say
They
when
would
there's
want
murders?
them to work for them, but their lives are expendable.
Their lives are expendable. They don't want to
Because
pay them. They don't
they're
want to
just
pay
going
them
to
a
have
living
another
wage.
birth.
They
There's
don't
going
want
to be one more birth and one more birth.
they don't
and
want
one
to
more
pay a
birth.
living wage to that person who works for them. They're just
No, I
pro-birth.
know.
They're not pro-life.
But they want workers. They want the lowest possible wage for the maximum amount of profits. And that's
Right.
just how it's going to go. They need workers who are poor enough, desperate enough to stay in that cycle and work for nothing. It's
So
all
right.
part
It's
of it.
and that's not a life.
No.
So they're pro-birth, but they're not really
Okay,
pro-life.
great.
They're just anti-abortion.
But yeah, like the folks that like advocate for anti-abortion have some sort of access to resources and are able to ta like fall into an abortion if like somebody in their family needs one all of a sudden and it's not a big deal.
Right, they'll fly them to an abortion state. Because now, in 2023, we have abortion states and we have non-abortion states. We have states where it's completely illegal to have an abortion.
Yeah.
And so, did you know? So there's this guy. I'm gonna, call his name hashtag Tommy Tupperville, right? He's the senator from Alabama. This guy, this clown, Tommy Tupperville, right? How he got elected senator was that he was the coach of the college football team, and now he's a U.S. senator, one of the 100 most powerful people in the country, whatever,
Uh-huh.
the most exclusive club in America. That's U.S. Senate. So this guy, this clown, has right-wing people mad at him because he's so anti-abortion that he's cutting funding to allow like generals to get promoted, because there are some things in the military that provide for members of the military who want to travel from a non-abortion state to an abortion state to have an abortion. So if a military person has an unwanted pregnancy, but they're in Texas or Louisiana, there's some funding because the military pays for transportation
Uh-huh.
within the country for them to it's not so he's trying to
For,
make
like, a
sure
medical
that gets
procedure?
defunded, right?
Uh.
So he's trying to make sure that gets defunded, and part of the bill that he's personally holding up is allowing for all the other like generals and colonels and all that stuff to get promoted. So we have people that are in danger, that are going into battles that don't have the right leadership because this guy doesn't want to let military personnel do interstate travel to get abortions. This clown, Tommy Tupperville. Google it, folks. This is like real life in 2023 right now.
Huh.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama. America.
I'm sorry to all the people who live in Alabama who have to like fucking put up with bullshit
Yeah.
in a
yeah.
way. Like,
I mean, Alabama, Mississippi. It seems like some of these states, like I don't know, y'all. Like I know you have family there.
yeah.
I know you have like roots and like reasons, things that you love that are there. But man, maybe check out some other states. I mean, I hate to say that. Like that's easy for me to say.
If
but,
you
like,
have access to the resources, sure.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm sympathetic to what you're saying,
Yeah.
Jay. I don't know if you do have like consider.
Organize.
Yeah, or
I
just
don't
consider
know.
leaving.
I
I mean,
don't know.
maybe if some of those states like Alabama just like all of a sudden had a huge dip in population because people fled from them. I mean, they're racist as fuck. They're sexist. They're bigoted. They're like radical capitalists. Like, yeah, they're the poorest states. Also,
Mhm.
they have the poorest populations,
Mhm.
and there's no. I mean, I wonder like because what the statistics that I hear are that these red states are having influxes of people, Texas, Florida, places where the weather's warm, and then and it's more expensive in California and New York and these popular in demand blue areas because people want to live there. Washington State, for example, is expensive. So those states are shrinking. People are leaving them and they're going to these cheaper, warm weather, right wing states. So I don't know. That's just I mean, this this whole episode is stream of consciousness. This whole podcast, this whole vlog cast, Republic Today, like ever since we started, we're 40 something episodes in. It's all stream of consciousness.
I think this is
So,
episode number 50, to be honest.
hell yeah. That's just 4010. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I've been spitting mad fire on this mic tonight, and my energy level's dropping, and I'm kind of ready maybe to smoke some weed legally. It's still illegal in like half the states.
Yes.
Like abortion and weed are illegal in half the states.
Yeah, welcome to 2023, everybody. Yeah, I don't know. We're in this together somehow, and
Some of us.
Some of us.
Yeah, there's a lot of freaking right wing people.
No,
There's a lot
I
of
know, but
moderates,
they
a lot of
don't
normie
realize-
moderates are like, oh, I just like Joe Biden.
They don't realize.
I don't know, Biden or Trump, one of the two.
You got anything else tonight?
What don't they realize?
Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you.